Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, fam? Friends, greetings. Passerby, bystanders. It's basically what I want to talk about today. Bystanders. I posted a question onto my Facebook recently that basically asked if social media, the idea of social media, the way that it is in today's form, which is basically applications, smartphones, text format, instant interaction, but faceless and bodiless. So it's text only, usually only words, text. And my question was, did social media make people toxic, or did it merely allow already toxic people more access to interaction and socializing? And I asked that question because personally, I think that because of our reach online and the nature of online, be it like you're not in front of somebody, you're not in their face, you're not in their vicinity. It's not like speaking to people in public. In public, I think that people still, on the majority, even toxic personality people, are not nearly as willing to engage with somebody as they are online. Online media forum types, because it's public and it's open, means that, say, if I wanted to speak directly to a public figure, but there's no direct access, places like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram have comment sections that are also visible to everybody, aka bystanders. Or, if you will, eavesdropping. It's a public forum, yes. You have to expect such a thing. But this is where it starts to get interesting. What is it about social media, online, faceless interaction, and the idea of eavesdropping or bystanding a conversation that has started between someone to a direct connection or comment to a public figure, and somebody who just scrolls by and reads it? What do you think motivates that person to chime in, as I would put it, to chime in or add their 2 cents to a conversation that was not initiated with them? They only passed by. It's as if the equivalent would be if I was talking with somebody out on the street, somebody overheard what I had to say, and then some stranger who's not involved happens to pop in and be like, oh, so I heard what happened with the blah, 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 and this is what you blah, blah. Like, first of all, who the fuck are you? And 2, you're not invited. This isn't, as they used to say in high school, this is an A-B conversation. See your way out of it. I do personally think that jumping in on conversations like that sometimes when you're not invited or not involved, or at least can't contribute to something positive or beneficial or insightful, or you know what I mean, like positive injections, I don't think bother people so much. It's the negative, nitpicky, like narrow-minded, judgmental criticism type of narcissistic, ego flatulent bullshit that I really don't like about bystanders online. I think I put in enough adjectives there. Ego flatulence, I like that one. But that's what it is, basically, is it's not your conversation. You happen to just pass by and look at it, and you look at it and go, oh, I have something to say. Your mind gets triggered. Believe it or not, that's what happens. Admit it to yourself or not. If you're guilty of seeing something, and I am, it hits me sometimes because, and I don't know what the hell in the world it is in my mind or my brain. And I hear this in person too. And I have spoke out in person. I hear people talking about something in person. I don't know them. And I'll jump in and say, hey, it's actually something like this, but I'm trying to be helpful. But God, people don't appreciate being helped online. People don't want to be wrong. They don't, like whatever they think, whatever they said, whatever their point of view is, if it's an opinion, cool. If it's an opinion about something that has facts or can be verified, that's no longer an opinion, really. And even if you claim, and we'll accept that it is an opinion can be wrong. Your perspective on something can be wrong. It's possible. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you're right about it. It's just an opinion. An opinion is a thing that can change. Perspective, an idea. You can change an idea. But if you really strongly believe something, if it's a belief of yours, cool. But then it's not based in evidence. Why is this light so shiny? Hold on. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's just my lens is dirty. Lens flare. Hello, Michael Bay. Woo. Is anybody excited about the new Jurassic Park? I am. I like Jurassic Park, but I think this is going to be the last one in the series, so that kind of sucks. It's like the end of an era, but that happens. Things are meant to change. Speaking of change, you get a certain set of ideas and things that have happened to you or you've experienced, and you build your ideas based on what you've experienced. That's all it is. The more open-minded you are, your opinion may change, or you may find that what you've experienced is not the end of the list. And you could make adjustments and then still have an opinion on something. But you could be more informed. Informed opinion is incredibly valuable. I can't see why people wouldn't be open to discussion about such things. And here's another one. This goes out to the audio crowd. I wanted to do maybe a video on this on its own, but I neglect that channel more than I do this one. Speaking my mind freely is more valuable to me as a practice in my life than is trying to fit into like hoops and cookie cutter shapes and clean cut, well-behaved, professional, whatever the hell audio is. I don't get it. I don't quite understand what the whole point of everything is. To me, I had a conversation with someone about this the other day, and I think it's about sales. Sales and salesmanship is based around presenting a type of energy, lure, and persuasive everything, basically, to get a customer or a consumer, which is essentially what we all are at the end of the day, in this system anyways. A salesperson is there to facilitate the exchange of money for product, and everything they do, say, gesture, or whatever, I believe, is directed towards having people connect, like convince them of like, I need to convince you to separate yourself from your money for this item. And I can't, to date, I have not been able to bridge the gap correctly for something. I haven't been part of something yet that I believe wholeheartedly in. I mean, once upon a time, maybe I was. I jumped on a bandwagon because it was local and where I worked, and I tried my best. But like, there's an underside to everything, and that underside really changes the way that you present. And I mean, if something else is better, technically better, then it's better. Who am I to tell you? See, that's my ego. My ego does a number of really foolish things. One of them isn't lying. I can't tell a version of a story to have you believe something that is not true, or if you believe otherwise, like I said, going back to opinions, if I can impart some kind of information that's contrary to stated opinions or statements, if I can show fact, if I can talk about something that's a little bit different, then I will. Because it's the truth of the matter. I'm a truth seeker, essentially. I rather educate than sell. If by educating it is a convincing argument or an appealing bit of information, then cool. Sales and representatives also do that. They do educate. That's their purpose. But online the other day, to close the loop, an audio company advertised for a new product coming out in Munich for vinyl players called eccentricity detector. Eccentricity detect stabilizer, something. And I looked this word up, eccentricity, and I was like, that doesn't even sound real. You know, like high-end cables made out of unicorn hair and shit. I mean, to that point where like they make everything sound so over the top, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a stabilizer. Why use the most mathematically like description of what it's doing? To sound smart, to sound high-end, to sound, you know, like, I don't get it. That part of it I don't really understand. It's like pretentious is what it sounds like. It comes off as a deliberate effort to be pretentious in a world where you're basically just scrubbing people's nuts for their money, and everything is super, super expensive, so you have to sound smart. So you use super big words to explain or name something, because if you called it vinyl or turntable platter balancing, you know, it's easier to understand. But when you have to look up like eccentricity stabilization, like, what the fuck is that? I went to Wikipedia and asked a question. I was like, what is this? Turns out it's basically an active stabilizer to make sure that the vinyl platter isn't wobbling. When you get a wobble on the needle, it causes resonances and vibration transfer from the platter through the vinyl record up through the needle, because they're super, super sensitive. Like, they're basically like 400 millivolts, which is very, very small. That's why you need a phono preamp, if some people don't know that. Anyways, so the needle is super sensitive to all vibrations. And if the platter or turntable top isn't stabilized and flat and level and consistent, then you get variations in the reproduction of the vinyl. So I understand the need for like heavy platters and giant basses and super heavy stabilization. Like, I get it. I understand there's a point to it. But the naming, holy Jesus. I went in and I asked, I'm like, it's a what stabilizer? And somebody just repeated the word. And I was like, come on, dude. I'm asking a legitimate question because I'm not into this world and I can't afford such things. And I'm in the forum and I'm reading it, and I asked the company directly, and somebody else who probably didn't work for them chimed in and just said, hey, it's a whatever. I'm like, I just learned more about that looking it up on Wikipedia than what you just said. And it's basically what they call a truism. A truism is like saying, I can't even make one up right now. It's beyond my mind to even answer a question like that. It's answering a question with the terms in the answer. So like, can you tell me what a baseball game is? I'm like, oh sure, a baseball game is like a baseball game. That's a truism. Or, I can't even think of one. Fuck it. Anyways, yeah, it's reiterating the same, whatever's in the question, in the answer. It's not answering it, it's just saying the same thing twice. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, I would think that people dedicating their lives to this high-end audio stuff would have a more intelligent answer than to just repeat the phrase in the answer. I mean, that's not nice to say to somebody, but it's also a fucking waste of my time and somebody else's to be like, oh, it's like this, and then like they don't even answer it. It's like, dude, if you don't know, don't pretend you know. Just say, I don't know. And when I asked the question, I posted the link to Wikipedia as if sarcasm, like a what detector, and then I posted the word for people to look it up. Man, people just drive me crazy. ByStanders. He jumped in with a stupid answer, and I was like, I can't handle stupid answers. People say that there are no stupid questions, just stupid people. Well, I think stupid people use stupid answers. And I say that it's stupid because it's lacking intellectual content. It's not adding anything meaning to the question that I asked. It's not revealing an answer or insight into the technology itself. It really didn't say anything at all. So I might be missing the point as far as socializing is concerned. And I'll have to admit, I spent the bigger part of the last 6 years, 4 years maybe, basically isolated. COVID for sure, but way before that, because of my shift, because of my work, because of just where I was living, certain interpersonal relationships that just weren't right. I have not been comfortable socializing a lot, other than online, for the last 4 or 5 years. I've done this. I've walked around and talked to the camera, which is not like socializing. So I'm only recently just trying to get to the bottom of these things, just try to understand. And I function really well as like a truth teller. I always have a truth teller, a rational thinker, ask and answer person. Sometimes I don't read between the lines well. I have this fault. It's not always comfortable. Doesn't always come across right. I always told people that if I had a Native American name, like America North, South America, America's native name, I would probably be called Foot and Mouth for obvious reasons. If anybody's out there and finds that funny, please let me know that it's okay to use that, because I find it hilarious. But yes, because of this social sort of thing, and I've gone through a lot of changes since these few years, things have happened, and now this try to navigate through social media, which is so like embedded into our lives. What I'm doing now, my YouTube channel's been online since 2011. I don't even know how many videos I have, but I've only got like 400, not even 400 subscribers, 200 and change. I'm obviously not doing anything that people want to see. But is that the point? Like, do I really want to be seen, or do I want these things to mean something to people that I appreciate? I mean, I appreciate everybody who comes to watch, but I'm certainly not putting like every day of the week effort into trying to reach people by putting every kind of clickbaity hashtag and really fancy thumbnails, and I'm not doing that. So yes, my question is, did social media make people more toxic? I'm going to say yes, it did, because it's way easier to be that way. Or did it allow already toxic people just more access? So it's not that it's not that people are becoming more toxic. They already were, and now we can find more of them, and they can reach everybody at the same time. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to deal with it, because the truth is significant enough that I sometimes can't hold my mouth shut. Maybe ill timing, bad topic, inappropriate, whatever. Truth is the truth. I've always been told, you know, the truth will set you free and be honest and all that other stuff. And like, I've got that indoctrinated into my mind now. And I'm always seeking stuff like that. So I don't know. I maybe need help. I have decided that I will be seeking new therapy soon. There's some things that have been going on with life that have been catching up with me. There's mixed factors and scenarios that are coming to light that I don't want them becoming overwhelming. So maybe I'll talk to this new therapist about this kind of thing. Fucking buildings, things. Sprinklers are turning on and they're blasting water like all over the place. I gotta walk all the way out on the street just to like avoid getting wet. Stop wasting fresh water, you fucking morons. Grass is not that important. The grass survived just fine until you were here. And these guys in the morning, if I'm not looking at where I'm going in the morning, there's a ton of these guys just scrounging around for grubs or worms or whatever it is that they're looking for. I have no idea. But if I'm not careful, I sneak up on them and then I'll find out the hard way. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me for 20 minutes. I appreciate it. I would appreciate any kind of feedback, any other topics. Just trying to figure this stuff out. Someone recently was like, maybe social media isn't for you. I'm like, dumb people are not for me. I don't mind really positive, informative, this was in the same comment thread as before, because I answered with like, what the fuck are you saying? At least answer with some kind of intelligence. And this is why I really appreciate being able to talk to engineers and designers and owners of companies and CEOs, like really smart, well-to-do, capable people. You don't get these kinds of smart-ass, like limerick, anecdotal bullshit. Like, that's the regular people. That's what I know I'm making myself sound like holier than thou down here, but it's just a level that I appreciate being on with people, is not this sort of like lowbrow, I know everything, but like actually don't know anything. I'm not trying to pretend that I know a lot, but if it's not an answer to a question, then like that's pretty obvious. It's interaction, cool. That's different. That's a totally different level. If I just said, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" then that's an open statement. But I mean, really, if I'm asking something specific, bro, if you don't know, you don't know. Just stay quiet. Anyhow, hopefully this sounds different. I put my microphone on, so you guys let me know about how it sounds. I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy. I will see you soon.